very much happy to have Dr. Arun M. Isloor with us. He's a professor at NITK, Surathkal, and he's a great researcher and a scientist, and he has been a reviewer for many of the premier journals, international journals, and he's with us now. I welcome you, sir, to this program. Dr. Arun M. Isloor, welcome you, sir. I request him to take over on the topic science and technology based startups for students. So please be here. We'll have a discussion after that and make some points so that how you can get into startups. This is very much practical. It is. It's not just listening and going. Make sure that once this presentation is done, you will come up with your own questions so that which will lead to your own startups tomorrow.
Dr. Rajesh, for the introduction and inviting me to present on the science and technology based startups for the students. So first of all, let me thank Professor K.V. Rao, who is the director of Pilikula Regional Science Center, for this particular opportunity. And whenever I get an opportunity from invitation from Pilikula, I never miss it. Jagannath knows it probably. It's like visiting to Pilikula is something like visiting our in-laws house. Okay. Yeah, I always I want to have an interaction with the students, and because I strongly believe that you are the future of India. You are the future of India. And also, you are all in the next 1, 2, or 3 years maybe, you'll be as a graduating with in the engineering with the different disciplines. So this is something different than what you are in your regular curriculum about. It's a mixture of all the different disciplines.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All the engineering all disciplines. All first years with the, okay, fine. So I am going to talk about the entrepreneurship. So I am from NITK Surathkal, and myself I am also heading this. We have Science Technology Entrepreneur Park, that is short form as a STEP, which has been supported by Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. I am heading this particular unit or a center in NITK Surathkal, and about our center, so far in last 17-18 years, about 70 plus startups have been successfully, we have nurtured about 70 plus. Currently about 13 startups are there in our NITK staff, and also as a students of particularly the engineering discipline, you also have the opportunity to do the startups. Okay, so first my about 30 minutes, 25-30 minutes or so, I would like to give some idea about the startup, how to register, all those things, and also about some inspiring personalities, some motivational personalities, how they have started initially with a very small business and how they are successful entrepreneurs even at the international level. Some 4 or 5 such personalities I am just giving examples also. Yeah, of course my acknowledgements, and also to the director of NITK Surathkal, both the present director Professor Yeragatti as well as the former director Professor K. Uma Maheshwar Rao. They are actually the source of inspiration for all my activities in NITK Surathkal. And of course, my funding for this is for my research group, whatever the funding which is from Department of Atomic Energy, Board for Research in Nuclear Sciences, or the DRDO or Department of Information Technology, and also from the VGST, the generous funding from these agencies. And of course to all my group members present as well as former PhD group members. What is entrepreneurship? Who will answer? Without looking at the slide, who will answer? What do you mean by entrepreneurship? Anyone?
Running a business.
Running a business. 100% correct. Running a business. Then any other thing?
Finding a new solution for the new modern problems. Finding a solution for the new modern problems.
Finding the new solution. Okay. Finding the new solution, running a business, or starting any sort of enterprises or any sort of a business. By taking certain risks, running any of the business. In general, we can say. So technically we can say an entrepreneur is an individual who creates a new business bearing most of the risk. Always there will be risk. Okay. Of course, risk in any field there is a risk. Even when you enter in any profession, everywhere there is a risk. So that we need to bear. So bearing most of the risk and enjoying most of the rewards. And the process of setting up a business, which is known as entrepreneurship. And the entrepreneur is commonly seen as an innovator, a source of new ideas, goods, or it may be the services and businesses, or any new processes or the procedures. Or in a very simple way, just in a one sentence, we can define it as the activity of setting up a business or businesses taking on financial risk in the hope of a profit. Any entrepreneurship it may be. So definitely we have to put some financially, we have to invest some money, and then we have to take some risk also, with the expectation that we'll get some profit. So that is the simple definition or the meaning for the entrepreneurship. Then what is startup then? In recent years, in newspapers or in television news channels, it is not only in our country, it is globally, even United States also, or any such a business related or economic times or newspapers. Commonly you might have seen the term startup. What is startup then? What is the difference between startup and entrepreneurship? Anyone? Just if it is wrong, don't worry. Just we are having a casual interaction, nothing else.
Startups are funded by the investors, whereas entrepreneurship is not.
Not exactly. Okay, I appreciate you try to give some answer. Any other answers can I expect here? So entrepreneurship, already definition I have given. Starting any sort of a business where which includes the innovation or just a business and with the aim of having some profit. It may be any sort of the business. Maybe a traditional, suppose a goldsmith, or keeping any of the shop. So that is purely the entrepreneurship. So investing some money and earning the profit. So that is the purely entrepreneurship. But startup is something different. So in the startup, innovation is involved. If you want suppose one goldsmith person, he want to open a shop. That's fine. So that is nothing but the entrepreneurship. But the person, or if he starts some entrepreneurship business, that cannot be termed as a startup. So the most important thing is, in the startup, it is nothing but something innovation should be there. Innovation, something new type. Maybe the goldsmith, the same business, if it is done with the help of some apps, different type of the apps, I think you are much better than me. Something with the help of the app or with the something innovation in that particular one, then that is the startup. Before going to the more details related to the startup, let me give some 8-9 principles by a great entrepreneur of our country, even at the international level. Dhirubhai Ambani. How many of you have heard Ambani's name? Huh? Our whatever we are using, the Jio phone or the petrochemical giant, right? It belongs to the company Reliance, isn't it? So of course now the business, the Reliance is with the different, they are into the different business, and that is owned by two brothers. One elder brother Mukesh Ambani and another brother, younger brother is Anil Ambani. Of course, I don't want to go more any details about that, about those people, but their father, Dhirubhai Ambani, at the age of about 16 year itself, he left the country and he went to, not in the Middle East, but in abroad, and then he joined in some petrochemical company as a, at the very low level job. So in 4 or 5 years, he could collected lot of the, he gathered lot of the information. Then at the age of around 23, 24, he came back to Mumbai. His education, not even matriculation, not even 10th standard. So then he came back to India with whatever his earnings. Okay? And then the company has, within 3 decades, the company has grown like anything. Now, of course, for his children, that is it's a very easier. Now the job is much easier because he had already established such a large company. So now their job is much easier. So for any entrepreneur or those who want to enter into any startup venture, these principles are very important. The first one is don't give up. It need not be for the entrepreneurs, but for anyone. Don't give up. Maybe in your examinations, or if you are doing some projects in the higher semester, when you enter in the higher semester, some projects when you are doing, you may not get the result. Don't worry, continue your effort until you succeed in the whatever your work was there. Continue till you succeed. So don't give up, never give up. Think big, think fast, think ahead. Ideas are no one's monopoly. So first thing is you have to think, you have to dream about that. It is not, no one's thinking, there is nothing wrong in that. No one can prevent you. Isn't it? Can anyone bind you from thinking anything? So you can think anything. Isn't it? So think in a bigger way, think in a faster way, and also always think for the future. Think ahead. And ideas are no one's monopoly. If you are born poor, it's not your fault. These are the principles adopted by Dhirubhai Ambani. So if you are born poor, it is not your fault. But if you die poor, then it's your fault. It is purely from the business mind, this statement. But if you work with the determination and with the perfection, success will always follow. So this is not only related to the business, for any field. I am repeating again. And if you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help them to build their dream. So again, first thing is you have to dream about anything. After 5 years, I want to be CEO of this company, or after 10 years, I want to be CEO of the TCS or Wipro. So you have to dream. And at the same time, whatever the best possible way, you have to go ahead in that direction to achieve your dream. Then meeting the deadlines, it is not enough. Meeting the deadline, see the principle. Meeting the deadline, it is not just sufficient or it's good enough. Beating the deadlines is my expectation. That is from the Dhirubhai Ambani. Suppose as a researcher, my deadline is by the December 2022, I want to have some 8 research papers. And just achieving that 8 research paper, that is not the great thing. But beating that deadline, why not 9, 10, 12, 15 like that? So beating your deadline, your own deadline, so that is very important. Then pursue your goals even in the face of any difficulties and convert the adversities into the opportunities. Now the corona, in last 2 years, almost in the last 2 years, so that was actually adversity, right? In the sense, the offline classes. So otherwise, probably if the corona would not have been there, if such pandemic situation would not have been there, probably the webinars and all, of course, I also have not at all attended any of the webinar. I have not heard the term also, to be frank with you, the term webinar before the pandemic. So that was actually the adversities. It was an adverse environment. So the adverse environment, it was converted into an opportunity. Right? So anything it could be, anything, don't think that it is an adverse or it is something negative. So convert that, whatever adverse is there, convert that one into some opportunity. Then growth has no limits. Keep revising your vision. Only when you dream it, you can do it. And pursue your goals. Yeah, that's already over. Then the last one is our dreams have to be bigger, our ambitions to be higher, our commitment should be deeper, and our effort should be greater. This is the dream of the Reliance company. Because he is one of the greatest person, so we can learn so many things, even though he is not a qualified person, but his knowledge wise, he is the topper. He is the leader for, I can say, is a leader at least in our country. Yeah. I hope you might have heard about Thomas Alva Edison. Huh? If you get an opportunity, please go through his biography. At a very younger age, around when he was about 4 years old or 4 to 5 years old, he lost his father. At a very younger age. And then he was actually born in US. And then he was removed from the school during his preliminary education. Because of his hyperactive nature. Because of his hyperactive, he was a hyperactive boy at the age of 4, 5, like that. He was a highly hyperactive, so he was removed from the school by the headmistress of that particular school. So that his mother, she only took care of his preliminary education. Because probably that time there was such an arrangement that one need not go to the school, but at the end of at the time of examination only, the child can go to the school and the child can give the examination. That arrangement was there. So he was removed from the school because of his hyperactive nature. And see here, he developed the hearing problem at the age of 12. He completely lost the hearing anything at the age of 12. Just imagine, he lost his father, no friends because he was removed from the school. He lost completely the hearing also. So that is also at the age of 12. And then as he got older, means as he grown up, the Edison, he believed that his hearing loss, which allowed him to avoid the distraction and concentrate more easily on his work. See, this is the adversity was converted into an opportunity. And then he began his career by selling candies and of course all those things. Then the great thing is here, in his name 1093 US patents are. Later he turned as initially he studied physics, he is a physics person, he did the master's degree in the physics. Then with the lot of inventions in the, among that the one is the electric bulb. That is also, that is one of his invention. Among those 1,000+ invention, the electric bulb is one such example. And in his name, 1,093 US patents are there. And he became in his name, some 7 or 8 companies were started in US, and till now the 7 companies are existing. So he's another great entrepreneur. How many of you have heard about the Nirma washing powder? Almost, right? You know the story of that? So this was during, this was by one Indian entrepreneur. He is from Gujarat, Kanshibhai Patel. Kanshibhai Patel, he obtained his BSc degree with chemistry as one of the subject, with the BSc degree. And then during 1966, he completed his BSc. During 1966, he completed his BSc in Gujarat, and he was working for some mining company, which was about 14 kilometers away from his village. He was staying in a village. So from his village to that company, the mining company, about 14 kilometers, every day he was going by bicycle. That means 14 kilometers going to the mining company and then coming back in the evening or in the night, again 14 kilometers. So imagine 28 kilometers by bicycle he used to go. But always he wanted to achieve something. He always wanted to achieve something. And that time, you can ask your parents. So that time, or your grandfather or grandmother, you can ask them. So during the 60s, in India, the only available detergent powder was Surf. Now the Surf is the other, with the, in another form, it is coming with the Surf Excel and with the different other brands. But that time only the normal Surf was there. I remember that. During my childhood, I remember that was the Surf. And that was the expensive. That time, during the 60s, it was costing about 6 rupees per 1 kg. And there are no any other competitors for that. So this person, Kanshibhai Patel, he always wanted to achieve something. So, and with the knowledge of the chemistry, because he is a BSc graduate. So with that, he developed his own formulation. With his own formulation, he developed some detergent powder. And then, that was during the 1969. And then it has to be, marketing has to be done, isn't it? So it's not a company. So in the formulation also, in his small house, in small one of the room which is measuring hardly about 10 by 12 small room, in that room itself he was making that formulation. And then every day while going to his mining company, 1 kg packets, 1 kg packets, some 15-20 packets, he used to give to the nearby, on the bicycle, while going on the bicycle, nearby houses or in the shops, he used to give it and then coming back. So daily, every day he was selling about 15 kgs of every day at the rate of 3 rupees. So that time only the expensive was 6 or 7 rupees per kg. So he started selling this as a 3 rupee. It became very popular, and within 3-4 years it spread across the India. Just imagine it is very fast rate. This particular his detergent across the India it spread. Then he started his own company with the brand name Nirma, and that is now more than 25,000 people are employed in his company. It's a purely Indian company. So he's another great entrepreneur. So the science knowledge is converted into some entrepreneurship, some business model, and he had also he given the employment for several thousands of people directly, and indirectly few more thousand people. I think the Biocon company is the one of the giant, I can say, one of the largest biotech company of our country. Even at the international level also, this has its own reputation. That is the Biocon. And the Biocon founder, Dr. Kiran Majumdar. Dr. Kiran Majumdar. She actually born in Pune during 1953, and then her schooling as well as up to BSc she completed in Bangalore, Namma Bangalore. She completed her up to graduation in Bangalore, and then she moved to Australia during 75 to do her master's degree. And she did the master's degree in biochemistry, and also she did the PhD related to the enzyme related biochemistry. And then when she came back to India during 78, and then she wanted to do some business. It means whatever her knowledge was there, she wanted to transform into her own company. And her savings, the total savings was 10,000 rupees. Of course, that time the 10,000 was a sufficiently good amount, but it is not such a large amount that you can establish a company. It's not such a huge amount, but reasonably her total savings was about 10,000 rupees. Then what she did to start a company near the Electronic City in Bangalore. Now it's Electronic City on the Hosur Road. So she hired one old garage, unused garage, and her first official employee of her first official employee is the owner of that garage itself. He's a 55-year-old person, and he closed his garage because there was no any business, so he closed his garage. So he joined as her assistant, as a officially first first employee of Biocon company. And what they did, so she promoted the cultivation of papaya plants. Papaya hannidella, adanna she promoted it. She visited the nearby, both these people, they started visiting the nearby villages, Hosur and other nearby villages, and they promoted them to cultivate the papaya plants. It is not for papaya for the eating the papaya fruit, but to isolate the one enzyme called papain. All of you might have observed, if you make some small incision on the unripe papaya, ಈ ಪಪ್ಪಾಯಿ ಕಾಯಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಚಾಕುವಿಂದ ಗೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್? Some latex will come out, isn't it? The latex will come out, and that latex actually it contains from that one enzyme called papain. It has a high economic value. So that was the product they were targeting, not the papaya fruit. So successfully they could in the nearby villages they could started collecting this papaya latex, and they started isolating this enzyme in the same garage, a small garage, and then they started exporting that because she know the potential of that particular product. So here again, whatever her qualification that is in the field of the biochemistry, so she transformed it for some successful business to become a successful entrepreneur. So now it's a several billion dollar company, Biocon company. Bangalore it is. And even in abroad also they have opened the laboratories in different countries also they have opened the laboratories. I think there may not be anyone here who is not using the Facebook. Is there anyone? Please raise the hand. You are not using? Oh, I am really surprised. Instagram. Okay, I'm the old Samara, so I don't use the Instagram. Huh? But at least earlier you may be probably using the Facebook. Okay. Anyhow, so you know the founder of this Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. He's 37-year-old now. Now, as of now, he's 37-year-old, and in the globe, he is the world's fifth richest person. At the age of 37, and he college dropout person. At the age of 37 now, he is the world's fifth richest person. Not just Mangalore's fifth richest person, but in the world level, global level. You can refer in the Google, you will get the information. So how this Facebook concept, how it has came? So he was actually in Harvard University. He was in the Harvard University he took the admission for the engineering in computer science related subject. And in the hostel or the dorms, usually in abroad they call it as a dorms nothing but the hostels only. So in the hostel, he developed when he was in the second year of his this graduation studies. So he developed some app by which all the personal informations and it's like a social media. So he developed that, and it was only he wanted to have it only for his hostel. Only for in Harvard there are more than 20 hostels are there, more than 20 dorms, or the dorms or the hostel both are same. So he wanted to have it only for his hostels, where in each such dorms 350, 400 students they were staying. But within 8-10 days, it spreaded across the entire hostels of the Harvard University. Within 8-10 days, and then it gets spreaded to the other regions also. Then he realized the potential of that, and along with him there are 4 other his friends were there. They also supported him in while developing that Facebook initially, and along with him they also came out, and then he started the Facebook company. So that was the successful venture of another very young entrepreneur. So during 2004 he started. 2004 at a very smaller level, but now it has spreaded across the globe. Yeah. So now this startup is so Startup India Hub. This will be the single point of contact for the entire ecosystem and enable knowledge exchange and access to the funding. So this was actually from the Startup India Action Plan, which was initiated by our central government during January 2016. And here this was actually launched by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji on the 16th January 2016. That is Startup India Action Plan, or whatever the Startup India. You can get their website also. So that was launched during the year 2016. So the major objectives is to consolidate the current ecosystem, this startup ecosystem, then grow the ecosystem, and then facilitate the stakeholder. That means those who are the entrepreneurs involved in the startup business, to facilitate all those stakeholders. So how to define a startup now? After hearing the Ramayana, now I am defining who is Rama, or I am asking the question, who is Rama? So the startup, how to define a startup? So according to the Government of India, this definition given for the startup is the age of a company, age of any such entrepreneurship. It should be 10 years from the date of incorporation. This is the 10 years, it is for the particularly the biotech companies. Non-biotech companies, it is 7 years. So the age of any company, if it is 7 years, and exception is biotech companies where it is up to 10 years. And then the entity type, that means the registered, it has to be registered. So it should be registered either as a private limited company or as a limited liability partnership, short form as a LLP, or simply as a partnership firm. So in any of these three, among these three, in any one of the way, it has to be registered. And then the definition is not complete. Still two more criteria are there. If it satisfies, then we can call it as a startup. Then the turnover must not exceed 100 crore in a given financial year. If the business is cross annual turnover, if it is cross 100 crores, then that cannot be called as a startup. Okay? And the most important thing is nature of the innovation. It should be, as I already mentioned in the beginning, it should be associated with some innovations, something new, like app based or the nanotechnology. So bring such type of the new technologies, that is nothing but the innovation or the research, you can involve in that, and then only it is termed as startup. So one is the age wise maximum 7 years, within 7 years, and the 10 years for the biotech, and then the annual turnover should not cross the 100 crores, and then the entity type is either LLP or a partnership firm or the private limited, and it should be associated with some innovation. That is what now the e-marketing, lot of opportunities in the e-marketing, right? These are all app based. So that is something innovation, something research is involved. So they can be termed as a startups. Then the how to register a startup. It's a very simple. Even at the students also from the Ministry of Human Resource, it is actually now it has changed as the name has been changed as a Ministry of Education, MOE. Earlier during 2020, before that it was termed as a MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource and Development. So they have made a policy, startup policy, it is by the Government of India. It is exclusively for the faculty members and the students. Exclusively for the students and the faculty members. So even I am having a startup, my colleague Dr. Somshekhar, so he is also having a startup as per that policy. Earlier it was not permitted. That too, if we are working in the government organization, we are not supposed to do any sort of business related works or the innovation which can be converted into some enterprise. It was not allowed earlier. But now as per the government norms, it is permitted. Even students also can start the startups. So first thing is, if you are any of the projects, any projects which you are doing in your higher semesters, if there is something innovation is there, and if you feel that that innovation can be transformed into a sort of a business model, then you have a chance to start a startup. It's a very simple. So if such thing is there, then you can approach the registering. There are different authorities who are available on paid services. So your company can be easily, it can be registered. And please remember, a company means don't under the impression that you have to borrow lakhs of rupees. Not like that. For registering your company, hardly 7,000 to 8,000 rupees. Then you will get your company will get registered. It need not be only one student or one candidate, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each one will be termed as a director of that company. So once your registration is done, then you are eligible to do any sort of such innovative business related to your whatever the model or whatever project is there. You are supposed to, you will be permitted to do that. And there are many advantages Of course, the related to the tax and all, there is an exemption for first 3 years. There is a tax exemption. But as a students, there is a provision as per the new education policy also. You can get a semester break. One can get a, suppose you are in the fourth semester, third or fourth semester, and you came out with you developed some simple app, maybe a very simple app or some model you have developed, and there is some commercial interest is there, or there is some commercial demand for that particular app which you have developed during the project, then you can start a business. And during your education period itself, if you feel that you want to give some more attention for the company, you can take a semester break. 1 semester, 2 semester, you can take a break. Of course, it is permitted in the new education policy, and even in the startup policy also by the government of India, the college, the institute has to consider. It is your right that you can take a break to continue your startup activities as per the government of India. And then, of course, the company registration part that will be done within 8 to 10 working days. And then after that, or you can also online also it can be done. But I always suggest take the help of some these professional people who are patent attorneys or who are into this type of the business. Take their help, and then you can register easily. Then once your company is registered, then after that you need to recognize as a startup. So for that you have to enter into the Startup India website. You can get it, Startup India website, and there you need to register yourself. What sort of business you are, or what type of innovation, what type of research where your organization or your company is involved. So all those information, and also the company registered certificate also has to be uploaded in the Startup India website. And after within 3 to 4 days, you will be receiving the certificate from the Startup India. So what are the advantages? One simple example I will give as an advantage. Suppose there is some tender from the government organization. One government organization, they want some particular app for some social welfare or related or anything it may be. And they have to, when they go for the tender, so in the tender, always there is a EMD, called the EMD, certain amount has to be deposited. But you are a student or a new startup company where you don't have sufficient funds. But that cannot be the criteria that you will be rejected from the participating in the tender. So if you are with the startup and if you are registered in the Startup India, when you participate in the tender, you need not give any sort of the EMD, that earnest money deposit, whatever the money deposit, which is not required. Whereas for the other companies, they have to deposit several lakhs or whatever the prescribed amount is there, that need to be deposited. But in your case, not required. And for other companies, the other requirements are like they need to have some 3 years experience, 4 years experience or expertise in that. If you are recognized as if you have a Startup India certification, that itself is enough. No need of prior experience also. So many such advantages for the startups. I think another 5 minutes, can I continue and then I'll have the interaction? Huh? So in academics, in colleges, universities, or even in the schools also, why these startups are required? So one is the academic institutions, particularly the engineering institutions, colleges like engineering colleges, where all of you are belonging. These are like a multidisciplinary hubs. Multidisciplinary. So you may be in the civil engineering, but you have the other neighboring department, mechanical is there, electronics is there, electrical is there, then other branches, even the chemistry, physics, mathematics, computer science. So it is a hub of it is a multidisciplinary hub, which is such a type of environment you don't get anywhere. The moment once you go outside the college, after completion of your graduation, and once you go outside, then you will be missing all those multidisciplinary hub. So in the institution, educational institution, that too with the engineering colleges, so it is, you are lucky that you have such a nice multidisciplinary hub. More rooms for the risk. Definitely in the academia, you can take because you will have a experience or highly qualified your teachers. So they can also help you, they can guide you, they can supervise you. Cross campus collaboration. So that is nothing but the industry institute interactions. If you are in the campus, you have every possibility, every chances that you can have interactions with the other universities, other institutes, other colleges, other industries. So that such collaboration, it is possible only inside the campus. And then hands-on as well as the experimental programs, then dedicated workspace. So some workshop is required for making some model. You will be having the workshop, maybe some carpentry related work. You have the workspace there, or a skilled person are there. You can take their help and you can develop it. Dedicated workspace. And then the mentorship programs, that's what your faculty members, your teachers, so they are like your mentors. They'll support in any possible ways, particularly related to from technical side. And then the mutual benefits. So you will also get benefited, and the other with whom you'll be having interactions or the collaboration. So both will be benefited. And as a revenue resources in the future. So some of as engineering students, you can think of startups related to these things. Nanotechnology in every field, applications of the nanotechnology in every field, every discipline of the engineering, it is there. So apply some of the technological knowledge, engineering knowledge, with respect to our day-to-day requirement, and then come out with a simple solution. The solution may looks very simple, but there is every commercialization of every such type of your solution. The Facebook has emerged with the same thing, no? He just wanted to have an interaction within his friends. So now it is worldwide. Biotechnology, right? That's what I gave the example of the Biocon company with the biotechnology base. Or the management, again the management related courses. You can involve some innovation in that. Something innovation, something research, something new, which is not in the market. So associate with that, and then there is every chance that you can come out with a startup. Now, many of the management related programs, where again you apply with the help of the computer science knowledge. So some come out with some apps which will be useful in the managements. It's a simple thing. You need not have any separate company, a separate space or something like that. Just one laptop with the one internet connection for developing such type of the apps. That itself is with the minimum investment, you can have such startups. E-learning. So this is again, once again, it's a emerging field. E-learning, electronic learning. Home care industry. One simple example. Home care industry. In last 5-7 years, to take care of elderly people, because both husband and wife or the son or the daughter-in-law, both are suppose working. The old age parents are there. Then they don't want to put them into the old age homes. Then who will help? will take the help of the some agencies. Through those agencies, they will provide the people, so they will take care in our home itself. But it is not at all well organized in our country. In abroad, I have seen it's a very well organized, very well organized. Here in India, you have to pay the registration fees of suppose 5,000 rupees, and then that maid after one month or 2 months, she will make some bahana, and then she will left. She will go out. And this agency you keep on calling, they will not respond. That means it is not at all organized. These are like a mushrooming. In Mangalore also, so many companies are there. So many. These are not well organized. This can be connected with some app based, and something you give a best service, then this can be. It can grow into a large company in the future, and then also it can be related to the agriculture based, agro based products, right? You apply the technology, maybe the tomato, which is tomato, now it is 10 rupees per kg. About 1 month back it was 190 rupees, 100 rupees per kg. We used to bring it to 250 grams. How much required? Only that much. Of course, we have the capacity to buy any kg, but that is not the thing. Why to pay? Tomorrow the price may come down. So in that, hoping that 250 grams only I used to buy. Why don't you develop some technology by which the tomato can be preserved? Not the ketchup, but the tomato in some food processing. That's an agro-based product. It's possible. Apply the technology so that it will be helpful for the community. Not only that, it can convert it into a business model. Aquaculture based. Again, a lot of examples can be given here. So thanks for this opportunity. I want to hear from your side anything related to the clarification related to the startups. I could not able to cover the thing because usually I take about 1 hour 45 minutes for that. I have shortened to a great extent. I just gave just a very brief introduction about the startup activities.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. It is a wonderful talk. Thank you very much for that wonderful talk. Now it is open for discussion. I request the students, please come up with the questions. Yeah.
Quick, anything it could be, don't worry.
Can you brief us with the skills we require for the starting startup?
Skills. Skills in the sense that there is nothing I mentioned, no, there's something innovation should be there. Only thing is something innovation. If you have an innovation, and as sir has told, the confidence level. So you should able to take some risk. The main problem is nowadays the youngsters, they don't want to take any sort of the risk. Okay, if I get a job of 25,000 or 30,000 rupees soon after in the campus interview, that is sufficient. But remember, you have the capability to earn more than 3 lakhs rupees per month. You have the capability, yes. But it should be, you have to take a risk. You have to put the effort.
What is the biggest risk, you know? What is the biggest risk? Not taking any risk. Who said this? Who said this? Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Good afternoon, sir. I had a doubt related to entrepreneurship. Are you only considered an entrepreneur if you have a new idea or an innovative idea, or is it also fine if you take an existing idea and improve on it?
Definitely, anything is possible.
So it's not
as an entrepreneur, if there is an existing one, you can make some modifications. So there is some innovation is there. Something innovation is there. So you can go with the startup.
So you're still considered an entrepreneur if you take an existing idea and improve on it?
Yeah. Entrepreneur is anything. Any businesser, listen to me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Any business that is nothing but the entrepreneurship. But something innovation, if it is involved in that particular business, then that is termed as startup. So something innovation, you think with something different in it, something different way, right? So it may be the existing business. You bring some technology there. That's why now all these Zomato or other type of even the e-learning. So it is an existing thing, but with the application of the app-based business, so they have been into successful startups or successful ventures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything? Any questions? Yeah? Anything you would like to ask? So the whole world is worshipping one thing. What is that? Not money. What is the tagline of this program? Anyone know? What is the tagline of this program? This science festival, science and technology festival. It is in Sanskrit. Louder.
Not Azadi Ka.
No.
As a part of Azadi Ka
as a
Amrit
part of Amrit Mahotsav, yeah, that's correct. But what is the tagline of this program, Science and Technology Festival? Vijnana Sarvatra Pujyate. Vijnana means knowledge. So people worship, the whole world worships the knowledge. Okay, it is not the king is ruling now. It is the knowledge is ruling the world. Okay, yeah. Any questions on startups? So how many of you decided to come up with the startup before end of your course? Can you please raise your hands? How many of you decided to come up with a startup before you complete engineering?
Good.
No hands, my goodness. Yes. You are giving a commitment now. Okay, it's a commitment. The raising hand means, yeah. No hands from this side, only one I am seeing. Come on. No confidence. At least to decide you have no confidence. Very good. Come on, more hands. Yes. I would have been happy if everyone raised your hands.
And for your kind information, there are many schemes by the government of India as well as state government. It is to funding or as a seed funding for the startups. So they are coming out with the different problems where you can give the solution, and if your solution is something innovative type, you can get the funding for your startups. It's like a 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs. So that provision is there also from the government of India as well as state governments.
Yes. Do you? Yeah.
Is there a platform where they put up all the emerging problems or current problems which needs to be addressed? Is there a platform where we can access?
In the Startup India, if you register yourself in the Startup India, there you can see the different
areas,
discipline wise.
Yeah.
What are the challenges? What are the problems? And the call for will be there with one particular theme. Say for this month they may be with the agro based, and that too specifically maybe with the coconut related. So related to the coconut specifically, I have just given an example. So with respect to that, there will be different challenges. How to preserve it in an effective way, in a more economical way. So those challenges. So best solution, they will be the winners. They will fund it.
Particularly in the agriculture field, there is a lot of gap between the agriculturist and the person who want the product, who the purchaser, I should say. That's why the price is varying. There should be a link, so you can link the grower or the agriculturist and the purchaser, and because a lot of money is going for the middleman, that you can prevent because of your app. That is wonderful app if you can develop.
Yeah.
And you can grow it as your own company. So that's what. So innovation doesn't mean that something entirely new. Innovation can be any small thing also. Okay.
With some modifications.
Yeah, some
also
modifications and all. That's why you need to be interacting with the current situation. You have to be doing some research and all like. That's what the thing is.
Other day, just some 2 weeks back, one of the engineering college of, I don't want to mention here, they have such contests for the students of their college only. In that I was the jury member. It was an online event. I was the jury member. It was a 6 minutes presentation. I was actually under the agro based. There I was the jury member. So one of the proposal by 2 students, that is the these agricultural laborers. Nowadays the laborers availability is too difficult. So these people through some app, so they have they will be having in their loop some certain laborers, 10 numbers or 20 numbers. So tomorrow, suppose if this person wants some 3 laborers, they need something 5 laborers, I need suppose 2 laborers. So through the app I have to book it. So it is the responsibility of these people to give those number of the laborers, and in return they will get the, suppose if the labor is paid something like 500 rupees or 600 rupees, so some 10% will be coming to their startup. So that is a app based.
That's it. So, yeah.
Any idea, it could be anything.
Okay, what my intention is, don't think of getting a job after 4 years. People think, oh, I'm in the first year, no, I have to think and get the placement after 4 years. No, your business is to think on that line, how best I can grow as an engineer to come up with my own over the year of 4 years. So 4 years, not that you're getting ready for getting a placement somewhere outside. 4 years, you're growing yourself as an entrepreneur. So that's what should be the attitude. So anything?
And you should be job providers, not job seeker.
Yeah,
Remember that.
Okay, yeah, that's what. Okay, yeah. Any?
Sir, imagine like you have a product.
Yeah.
Okay. So like many people just appreciate your product, but you know that that product has good scope for it.
Yeah.
So and you don't have proper investment also. So what will you do in that situation?
The first thing is, once you develop the product, then the marketing is also that is also your responsibility. Suppose if there is a market demand is there, but the large number of the production of that particular product, you don't have sufficient funding, because something like 50 lakhs or 1 crore or 2 crores, suppose or 5 crores if the investment is there, you will not be able to get such a large, you don't want to take such a larger risk in terms of borrowing in the form of the loan. Then you have venture capitalist. You'll get the venture capitalist. So it is just like in a movie, the film, the producer job is they'll finance it, right? They'll finance whatever the required amount. So here they call venture capitalists. So based on the your product and they have the better knowledge. So what they will do, how much amount you need, 50 lakhs or 1 crore or whatever. So they will be partner of your company or your startup, and they will invest. So for that, their involvement or for their investment, they will get certain portion as a profit in that. The Lenskart, it came out with a similar.
Yeah.
I think in the TV also, the television, his recent interview was there.
Very interesting thing is, it's a very, if at all you have a innovative idea, and you can go to any, industrialist and convince him to invest in your idea, then your work is done. The Tata, and there are many companies of like that. The Tata is sponsoring many startups. So don't worry about, I don't have money. There is no dearth for money. There is a dearth of ideas. Okay. So idea comes for research. So if you can convince, that's what we are doing on prototype afternoon. There will be a small presentation with the intention of same. You will be presenting your startup ideas, entrepreneurship ideas in a group of 2. Then it will be assessed. So whichever is the best, will be pricing you for that. Okay, afternoon at 2 o'clock we'll be having that competition.
Any other questions from girls?
You want women entrepreneurs?
Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities for the girls under the women entrepreneurship. Because some of the schemes from the government, it is only for the women.
Yes, exactly. That's what.
So, for example, you have started a company and it has a lot of potential, but your company is giving some risk to some other jobs. So, what would you how would you prevent the risk for other jobs? For example, if you have made a car which is auto-driving car, so the cab driver will be at risk of losing their jobs. So, how will you prevent it?
No, definitely we cannot prevent that. The thing is, if you are not grabbing that opportunity, I mean, if you are not coming out to today this particular product, Tomorrow another person from China, he will come and he will dump it here. So who will be the loser there?
No, he is asking if at all when we have a driverless cars,
Yeah.
then drivers will be
Other
losing
jobs.
job like that.
That is
So
true.
that is there in every innovation. Okay, that is there, but that is for a short time because even the drivers will be, they'll waiting some other jobs or so. Like,
Opportunities will be there for them.
yeah, it is always there. And the society is evolving, and those things are always the challenges, and that will be met. It is there. For example, in banking system also,
Yeah.
when these computers came, people thought nobody was required and like, but it is not the case. Job improved, and even the number of
Exactly.
requirements improved.
Services have been improved.
Yes.
20 years back, if I am going to the bank and with my passbook, so they used to take the ledger, that this much thick ledger, and then suppose if he's not finding our account in that one, then another one, then he was checking, then by that time 8-10 people are waiting. So now with the bank officials, they used to do it. But now the thing is another automated machine. It's in some of the ATM machines also, it has been already installed. So you go the passbook and just you get it. Because it is saving our time lot of our timing is saved. So that is not affecting the job.
Yes. And
There
bulldozer.
are opportunities in other field also,
Exactly,
the jobs for the other one.
When bulldozer came, people thought, it
Yeah.
will bring down all these manual workers and all. No. Now the thing, these manual workers were used for
Exactly.
some other places like.
Because the world is
Nobody is there. Yeah, manual work also nobody is there.
growing very fastly. So accordingly we have to step. Otherwise, suppose let us assume some 10-kilometer road with the same manual. I don't get do we get the laborers? We don't get the laborers in such a large number. Suppose if laborers are also there, it will take something 2 years or 3 years. But same thing with the machinized one.
Yeah.
We need not, definitely the laborers are required along with the machine, but the time is within 2, 3, 4 months it can be completed. 1/10 or even much lesser time. So the world is fast, it is growing at a very faster rate. So we have to progress along with that, otherwise we will be lagging behind.
Yes. So we have the advantage of number. Okay, number, the people we have, we can make use of that. Because there are people for, for our any business. People are, at the end of the day, the users are required. So we have no dearth of users or the people because our population is quite high. So we can make use of that for our business.
So you can apply the science and technology, apply your whatever qualified, whatever field you are a chemical engineer, chemical or mechanical, electrical, computer science, whichever field, that can be applied to solve some local problem. It need not be any big thing. The local simple some problem, try to solve that. The labor problem through the app, that's something innovative type, right? It will be help to the society, and also companies also can be there are one such simple example I have given. And the old age, the taking care I mentioned, no? So that is also, these are not well organized. Well organizing is not there in our country. In abroad, when you compare it to any such organizations in abroad, they are highly well organized, highly professional. But here, no such things. Once you pay the money and then later they will not see your face. So it should not be.
Okay then, if there are no other questions, shall we wind up this session? Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I thank our students also for your wonderful participation. A big round of applause for